Okay, so I had to stop and start to be able to switch round to the bookcase. I cleared 2 bookshelves. As you can see, this top shelf here is all journaling Bibles. The majority of these are journaling Bibles and some books. These ones aren't on the bookshelves yet in the shop because I'm still listing them because I've got so much stock that I was bringing with me to Spring Harvest that's not there yet. And as you can see, I've also got a fan and another one that I've already got in before all the rainbows were appearing in the shops. So I'm going to start off with the very first Bible that I had, which was this one. And I'm going to take it down to my space for you that I've created. I'm now back. I nipped off to go and get my collection of journaling Bibles, well actually just some of them, so I can show you around them a bit. And you can see there's one of the other fans that I got. So, the NIV Journaling Bible. This is the Bible that got me started. You can see mine's looking a little bit more tatty and dirty than this. It's got a 7.5 font inside and it's lined, this one. Sometimes you can get it unlined, but not... depends what stock they've got left, because this was one of the, I think this was the very first NIV one that they brought out. You see, it's got a place to write your name in the front. It's got the normal pages in. It's got this elastic, which you'll find very handy. And it's got the tables and weights in the back. I'll just give you a little quick look in mine, otherwise this video will go on far too long for you and you probably won't want to watch it all. This was my first one. As you can see, I did a bit of colouring in the beginning of it, and on each the Bible I did some washi tape, which took me forever to do, and I stuck things in. That was my first mistake, I stuck it in the wrong place. Some colouring. Found that some pens leak. Some ink pencils are a lot stronger, making notes. And that's very much how my first Bible was. It has got my very first napkin in here though, so I will show you that. That's the Philippians. The napkin technique, which is going to be part of the series that we're creating at the moment called B. It's a magazine with videos. And this was my very first napkin tissue stuck in with the words of the fruit of the Spirit. So, that is the NIV version. And it comes in that colour and another lovely colour. It comes in this lovely pinky colour as well. Again, 7.5 inside, but this time it's unlined. Now, I wouldn't let lines bother you or not bother you, to be very honest. You'll learn to ignore them after a little while, because as you're creating, you just go over them. Now it sounds like somebody started it with a hoover or something downstairs, even though I said I'm recording. So, on to the next ones. Oh, third attempt at trying to do it. Try to stop the hoover noise and my son shouting up and down the stairs. I'm just bringing some more down onto the floor so I can show you through these ones. This one came out around the same time as the other two. And it's I think it's imitation leather. Can't quite remember. Again, it's got somewhere for your pen, and it's a wraparound, which I quite like the case. And it's got a lovely print on it that goes round like that on the back. I know some people have actually coloured that in as well. Again, similar inside, and has the lines. Came out at the same time I think as the other ones. Two-handed I need for this. Then I'm going to skip one of their Bibles and come back to it in a minute, just because I'd gone in size order on the shelf. These two Bibles are the same inside, except for this one is pink and this one is grey. And other than that, and the back page that's pink, or grey black. They're exactly the same Bible inside, but they are a verse mapping Bible, where you have a page where it tells you information to go and find, to look up, and then to fill in the spaces. And then there is a chart somewhere in here with some codes on it so that you go and answer questions. These pages are more like a card inside, so that you can have better bleed through, so that they've tried to listen, NIV, to people who want thicker pages, so this is sort of their way around it, to put in occasional pages. I have done a separate review all about this Bible though, so if you want to have a look at that, look at the separate video. I will try and tag it in the notes below when I finish. But yes, it comes in the pinky version, the floral, and it comes in this Japanese, I can't remember what the word is, but it's where something's broken, and when something's broken they fill it with gold to make it usable again. I think that's just such a lovely image of how Christ works in us. He wraps us in his blood and his love, and we're made whole again and be able to be useful. Then this is the Soul Survivor edition, which again is the same size as the other two ones and has a lot of the same features. Ooh, it's got a bright thingy. It's also got some information at the beginning of each of these, because it's the Soul Survivor one. It's when they do things for youth, they give them extras. They don't seem to put them in all the adult ones. Like there's a few little bits down here. Again, it's got plain bits, and then it's got Bible studies in it, which I think are really helpful, and it's got prayer ideas, and then there is also a reading habits chart. Again, that's on the thicker, you can hear if you listen to that one, and then it's a lot thinner than this thicker one. And there is a challenge to be able to read through the Bible in 90 days, and to count and colour them off when you're doing them, and to colour the books, which I think is just really a fun thing to do. Again, there is pages of information about them. It's a lovely Bible. I wouldn't be put off by the fact that it says it's just for Soul Survivor people. Again, there's that idea of doing the Bible study mapping. Oh, it's even got a prayer idea there as well, called SOAP, which I seem to remember. Scripture, observation, application and prayer. So again, a lot of the features. This is the chart that I was telling you about that I didn't manage to find to show you the other one. All these questions, and then they relate to a page where it will be blank with shapes on it, unusual shapes, which I probably won't be able to find now, knowing me. Because when they're new, these Bibles, they sort of stick together, the pages. There are a few things to colour in this one. There's the soap again. Yeah, it's a list of questions of things to actually think about to help put words into context. And I think if you've never really done any Bible study by yourself, it's a really helpful thing to be able to have, to be able to work through. So that is their smaller size ones. Now to the Bibles that the NIV brought out in between those ones, and I'll just pop those ones down. There's mine. Ooh, sorry, I just need two hands for a second. Now I'm going through these Bibles methodically, because this is how I like to have them on the stall, so that I can find them to be able to show them to people, because really I just love meeting with customers and chatting through what their needs are. The questions I usually ask is, do you like colouring? And if you find colouring helpful and useful, then you look at the colouring ones, which are the second shelf, which we'll come to next. Or are you not afraid of a blank page? If you're afraid of a blank page, then I tend to suggest for your very first journaling Bible that you go for one that's got something in it. So those three that I've just shown you would be suitable because they've got some colouring bits but are blank, whereas these next ones are completely blank. So again, 3 Bibles. All of them are exactly the same in terms of their text inside. They are a 8.5 rather than a 7.5, which is the font of the other ones, although I think these ones were a font 9, if I remember rightly. Yeah, these ones were a 9, so slightly bigger. This one is the Hannah Done It one, which everybody thought was going to have Hannah Done It colouring in sheets, but it didn't, so I think people were surprised. But what it does contain is some of her beautiful prints inside, and they're double-sided too. So you can keep them in your Bible to enjoy, or I suppose if you were very clever, you could cut them out and frame them if you wanted them around your house, because you've bought the right to have that one copy of them. There's so many in the book. I can't remember how many altogether there are. Some I've not even seen before. But the text is still the same, and the space is still the same. Now you may notice on this one, the other one, this size one, the margins are about the same, whereas on the NIV ones, these ones were a bit narrower. You see by comparison, so you've got a bit more space to work in these ones. They are the same all the way through. They don't come with any additional notes other than what you normally get in the front of the Bible, in terms of explanation and a few key listings like that. I don't think there's anything extra in the back either, if I remember rightly. Just the tables, weights and measures, and then Revelations. So I've also got a copy of this one, and it's one of my well-used Bibles, and I know people usually enjoy having a look through it, so I'll give you a little bit of a look. But if you want to be able to see more of my Bibles, if you head over to holyhope.co.uk on Facebook, but in community group, we have a community group there where I share lots of pages from inside, and I also then give you space for you to be able to share and make friends with people. That was based on the guy who does the comic version of there you go, Word Bible comic. Excellent reading. Most of them are suitable for older children, and are excellent. I've got, I think, the Book of Ruth, but I decided to use his figure of Deborah there to copy it in. Here we have one of my pages with a joy shaker next to it. We'll be looking at doing things like that in some of the B publications that I come on to do. Again, another shaker. Page on using watercolours, different things. A lovely picture in black. Things stuck in. Jelly printing, that's one of the other workshops I'm hoping to offer during this lockdown period, which, depending when you're watching this, you will remember or not. Well, you'll remember it, but you'll be in it or not. Again, I've stuck in some pieces of washi tape that I've just got as spares. More shakers, more Bible notes from sermons, more pictures. This is deli paper, if anybody's wondering. We sell that too, so you can put it in, and then we made a prayer shawl there. All these different types of things. Different types of watercolours, different types of acrylics. That's a jelly print. Making other types of things. Lots of the things that I've explored in my Bible are what I then go on to teach when I lead my workshops. And because we're not able to do them at Spring Harvest or New Wine later in this year, I'm trying to do some of them online more for you in the coming weeks. So that is that Bible. Then we move on to the ESV.